Hi, Rashad.
Hey, Miss Susie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Hi,
Uh,
Mary.
hey. All
So,
right.
Mary, I want to introduce you to Rashad. He's from Tennessee. He lives near Nashville,
Oh,
and he is a project search grad, and then he works at the Vanderbilt project search program, and he's a job coach with them.
oh,
So,
cool.
we are interviewing the two of you today.
Okay.
So, this is our
Awesome.
first webinar for the
Okay.
Alumni Association. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
And Mary is a patient transporter. And how long have you been at Children's, Mary?
Well, I've been here for 24 years.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I,
no, it will
I
be
told
20.
somebody 15. So look how bad that was.
Yeah, well,
24.
it will be in 24. I've been doing patient escort since I got here. I'm being serious. I had an interview yesterday, and then the interview was so cool. And the ladies that I interviewed with, we were sitting there laughing and talking, and then they said that I would come back next Wednesday at 2 and meet again. And they were interviewing for 2 spots, I think, but 3 candidates.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, like I would be stocking stuff, writing dates on stuff, running a dishwasher, um, letting people know when they have new referrals come in. I would still be up and moving around the hospital. So like I would be delivering like toys or books to people if they need it. Hey, can you bring me, I don't know, this baby book or something to that effect? Or hey, I need a baby bottle. Is somebody you can do that? Hello. I would love to do this kind of stuff. Hello, it has my name written all over it. Because then that way I'm still out and moving around, but I ain't, like I told them yesterday, but I ain't pushing you.
That's
So,
great. That's
yeah,
exciting.
yeah, I'm super excited.
Rashad, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us kind of what you've been up to the last few years?
Oh yeah. So my name's Rashad Ward. I'm actually born and raised in Nashville, and I'm currently 28 years old. Since 2019, I've been working at the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital slash BMC. Uh, Again, since 2019. So my current group is actually the sixth group. And I'm one of the assistant job coaches of the program. And so, of course, there's the main instructor, Mr. Brandon Flug. There's me. There's also Miss Simply Parker, and lastly there's Miss Teresa Darnell. And so we've had the average. I mean, the average people to be in the program would be 12, but usually it'd be around 10. And so now like I said, we're on the sixth group, and we are just about to, or interns are just about to do their 2 week uh, Christmas vacation or time off. Yeah, they'll be off for 2 weeks, and then we actually go back on January 7th of next year.
So
Oh,
you are one of two skills trainers with the instructor at Vanderbilt, which is Vanderbilt's one of our oldest project search programs besides Cincinnati Children's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it started in 2005.
Yeah.
Because we actually have a Hall of Fame wall with all the pictures of the graduates, and I believe that's
Oh, really?
Yep.
And how many of your graduates are working at Vanderbilt?
Ooh, I think it's somewhere around 50. Um,
Okay.
pretty large number. I mean, there's the people from the past five groups that I'm aware of, and some of them are working here. There's also people who before me and my group came along that are still working here too. Like there's Josh Putnam. I know he's been there since I believe 2015. I think there's also this Mr. Elijah. I see him sometimes who's working in I think this same department, Periop Services. Is also I think he's been there since around 2016. Michelle, who's one of the people I have to check on a daily basis. Michelle, and the other one's Carter. They've been here a really long time. I know Carter has been there since I think 2009, and I know Michelle is pretty much in the very first group. She's been there for about I think around 24 years. So it's
So
pretty long.
Wow,
Yep, pretty long time.
that's pretty amazing. If you guys could each describe kind of your project search journey, like starting with if when you were in the program and then kind of take us up till now. Mary, you want to go first?
Yeah. So like so I graduated high school and at Anderson in 99. We decided it was okay for me to do what do you call it? The computer what is that called? Business course or computers at Live Oak. So I said no to the diploma. Anderson held the diploma. I went to Live Oaks and it's a 2-year program. Did it the first year, went the second year, and within a couple of weeks, and this is not a lie, Susie, I came home crying to mom. I said, I'm not going back. Because it got so hard and so like it was just too much. And then I think actually my mom actually called you, I think, Susie, and said, hey, can Mayor come to Project Search, blah, blah, blah. And we've known Susie, golly, for what, 30 years, I think now, through my
Yeah.
brother, because she used to work with my brother too, and now she's worked with me. Um, and she said, and Susie said, yes, Mayor can come. And I think was I the second class through the high school thing, Susie?
I think so. Yep.
Okay, that sounds about right. And the program just got started. What did I do? Let me think. Hold on. I did, oh golly, let me think. What did I do? I did, ironically enough, I did some office work like filing or something and copying on the copier. And I did some other little knickknacks in a office here at Children's. And then that was my first rotation. And then my second rotation was, hey, I wouldn't work with like the patients a little bit. Can I do that? So they got me in it was called a patient attendant, but I don't think it's called that anymore. And I actually think you actually have to have a license now to do this. But I did that rotation for a little bit. I was like, get me out of here. I'm not sitting here all day. It's over. So then I will never forget, I saw these couple of employees walking around the hospital, pushing patients, like that there. And I said, ooh, I wonder what this is. I said, ooh, I'd like to go see what this is about. Can I, so I went and I did patient escort and I actually got hired, like I said, 24 years ago. Now was my job rotation. That was the job rotation. And they actually said, hey, we want to hire you. So I actually got hired, was it March? No, I know it was March, but I can't remember if it was the 11th or 12th of 2001. And I've been with this department ever since.
Congratulations. I just want to say really quick that Mary has won a very prestigious award at Children's over and over and over again as one of the best, if not the best, patient transporter in the hospital. So yes, she's ready for a new adventure, but she's going to be pretty darn hard to beat on her team.
Here I am. I'm already trying to figure out how I would restock stuff. I'm like, well, let's see. I come in through the A building and I'm right near radiology. Why don't I just go down there, clock in, go down there and see what supplies they need and write it down and then go upstairs, drop my stuff off, get everything I need and come back down and put everything away. So it's like I'm already trying to figure out how I can do that job. And I'm not even in the door, which I think is so funny.
Yep. So Rashad, why don't you tell us about your journey when you started Project Search? You're much younger than this old woman over here.
No, Susie.
So Rashad, tell us about your Project Search journey.
Sure. Okay, so I guess it all started back in around, I believe, 2017 and 2018, somewhere around there. So to do like computer stuff because I've always been interested in doing like setting files and typing important information in the computers. And so my mom told me about the skill of data entry. And so basically I asked her what that was, and she told me it's just like what you want to do. So it's basically about putting important information and data into the computer. And so the more she explained about it, the more I got interested about it. So we looked around, and so that's when we started looking around for different programs that taught the skill, and that's where we eventually came across Project Search. And so we looked into it, and so uh, then uh, then we realized that they were actually teaching this skill at one of the sites, the Project Search journey. We eventually found out that I did have a very, very mild form of Asperger's, and so I got diagnosed on January 8th, and I remember that date because it's my grandmother's birthday. And so the more we looked into the Project Search, we more they realized that they were teaching people with this certain disabilities about these skills. And so when it came to that entry, eventually came across Project Search. So we set up pretty much an interview day, and what we now know is assessment day. And so we went there. I kind of suspected that it was gonna be like an interview. I just didn't know who I was gonna be talking to. So I sort of suspected that I was gonna be speaking to one person. So we got there. It turns out it was multiple people that I had to talk to, and they asked me like certain questions. How'd you hear about Project Search? What got you in that entry and all that? And that's where I met the current instructor, the person that I work with now, Mr. Brandon Fluke. And so we talked about it more, and then that's where they allowed me to be in the Project Search program. And so start of the day, we got to know each other, and did a tour and everything, looked around the office. And so like everybody else, and like the interns I'm coaching now, all of us had to do 3 internships each. And so my first rotation involved triaging and PCP processing, and that's both were done on the computer. And that was located in the Nashville Call Center, which was right across from the Mayor Group building. Pretty easy process, and that was pretty impactful. I learned some important skills there. Second internship involved mailing, and so that was back in the main America Group building, and that involved like a process of like entering information on a document on the computer, and then printing it out, and then folding into a mail, and then having it shipped out, which another intern took care of. And then my last internship was operations, and that was with Miss Vicky. Pretty much sort of the same thing, but we were all assigned different states, and I believe I got Washington. And so basically they sent the documents over there, and I filled out information. They also offered to teach us about making phone calls and everything. Eventually I graduated from that program in the year 2019, and so the program ran from 2018 to 2019. So I graduated from that program in 2019, May of 2019. For a little bit I was job searching again, and then during the summer of that time I actually got a call from Miss Pam, who offered me to be a job coach at another Project Search, where I'm working at now, the VMC, or the Children's Hospital. And so I thought how cool it would be to learn from somebody who's been to the program themselves. So as soon as she offered me, I set up a job. So all I had to do was actually go to the main Progress building, do the same thing like when it came to Project Search, just do an interview. And Miss Pam, who I already knew, I offered me the job again there, and I took it. And so ever since I've been working there. Again, since 2019, and this is the current group that we have now is our 6th group. So, yep, been working there, and that's pretty much the journey.
I'm so proud of both of you. Just, I don't know, makes my heart sing, because you're both at children's hospitals. You're both at doing very, very different things. Mary's in a more clinical role. Rashad's in a training role. But it's all about kind of that personal journey for you, but also impact your children's hospital community. It's pretty darn amazing. I want to switch to kind of your personal life. Mary, you want to go first?
Yeah, I actually have my own business. It's Photos by Mary. I am on Facebook. It's under groups. It's private because there's too many cuckoo birds out there. And then I am also on Zazzle. I'm probably saying that wrong. And then I'm also on Fine Art of America. And those are 2 sites where they provide the mug or the shower curtain or the whatever. And then once I put my photo on there, and write like happy birthday or just leave it alone or whatever. And then I do craft shows. I put together calendars. I have greeting cards. I do framed artwork so that I actually coach one of our rec leagues, our teal team, which is a bunch of girls. And I really enjoy that, teaching them the game that I love so much. And I have three, maybe four girls on there that can't even dribble a basketball, but do I care? No, not really. They're out there, they're smiling. I don't care, whatever. Um, and then I'm actually also on the board of our Snapdragons organization. I'm actually on the fundraising committee. So to try to raise monies to hopefully buy or build our own gym and our own facility for basketball, soccer, softball. Um, so I'm actually on the committee. And
You are very busy. And
I
Mary,
know, is it?
It's Dennis. So tell me about, or if you could tell everybody about, what is the flying pig and what is your involvement with this flying pig?
How did you know? I forgot to even say that. How did you know? Because at first I thought, am I wearing a flying pig shirt? No, that one's in May. No, because I do have an old running shirt that I'll wear in May for the flying pig. It's only for work.
So the flying
And
pig is a marathon in Cincinnati.
yeah, and
Okay.
actually it's known worldwide. People come
Mhm.
from all over to run this puppy.
Mhm.
So I'm standing there in my mom's bedroom. I'll never forget this. We're standing there. All of us are ready for church. So imagine, there's 5 kids. No, James and Jason have moved out at that point, but we're all standing there. And I'm like, this looks really fun. I think I'm going to run that one day. I kid you not. I said that. My mom looks and said, oh, you think so? I said, yeah, this looks like fun. Don't ask why. So then in 2014, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start training. So I kind of started training. My first race was that fall, was the Queen Bee. And that's a half marathon. And I did that in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. That was like 10 years ago. And then I also did, and then that following May in 2015, I went out and ran the Flying Pig by myself. I didn't really stay with anybody. I just followed all the other piggies throughout Cincinnati. So I actually did that one in 5 hours and 44 minutes. And then I think I may have waited a couple of years and did it again. Then I waited again and did it again. My times kept getting better. So then last May, or well, a couple of months ago, back in May, I'm like, you know what? I don't care about my times anymore. I just want to go and actually embrace it and have fun. So that's what I did this year is I went out and I had fun this year. I thought I really don't care about my time as my fastest time was 5 hours and 20 minutes and like 13 seconds, I think. But that was the day. But the day before that, I also did the 5K and the 10K and pig abilities.
Yeah. Hey, Rashad, what do you like to do for fun
Oh, well,
outside
I
of
just
work?
do like, yeah. So basically, I'm kind of a homebody. I don't venture out that much. Um, Most of the time, I'm either I used to be a video gamer, but that was like when I was younger. I used to play hours. Now I just play maybe 1 or 2 hours, and then other times I'm just mostly I'm writing. Uh, the other times I like gotten into a lot to reading. So there's a number of books that I'm reading now. Um, you know, favorite genres be horror, sci-fi, adventure, and yeah. So that's probably pretty much pastimes, just mostly quiet things.
Nice. Good for you. Well, so Rashad, could you give advice, maybe for any of the project search interns from outside of Vanderbilt that might be listening to this? Because I think there'll be some instructors that are sharing this video. So advice for them when they're, in the midst of project search and what they can do to kind of make the most of their time with us.
Yeah. I would say kind of be asking important questions like if they can do more to contribute to the program. Hopefully, be skills trainer themselves. Ask get one
Yeah.
to be one-on-one meetings with the instructors and ask if they can be skills trainers and offer them be skills trainers themselves. Because I always thought I've always liked seeing past interns of the program coach and mentor future in terms of the program. I always thought that was a cool thing to see. And so I always thought that, maybe this could be official thing for other programs, just not in the state, but across the country and the world. Because I always liked seeing that. I mean, I always like the idea of learning from someone in the past who's already been through it. And so
Yeah.
that would be probably the best teacher out there, especially for someone who's unsure how the program works and everything. Because sometimes I would notice in the in the apartments that I'm working in now that some interns would also former interns would answer questions that current interns would be having, like
Mhm.
had what internships did you have, how long were you in the program, what anything you're going through, is there anything I should look out for. So yeah, that would be the best advice that I would offer.
Awesome. And you're a published author, right? You and Amanda
Yes.
wrote a paper, so maybe we'll
That's
get
cool.
that paper if it's okay with you, and we'll say that and talk a little bit about your journey into being a skills trainer, which I think. Do you think you have an advantage as a skills trainer because you went through Project Search?
Oh yeah, yeah. I kind of have knowledge about how it works, and kind of offer, because first one of the most general first questions that I would get from future interns of program, especially when they start, is what internships did you take part in? And I would have to tell them, I took a entirely different skill set. But as far as like duration and stuff, it's pretty much the same. I would tell them that it's 9 months, 3 internships each. And, they would sometimes mainly be kind of like duration questions, and so I would be
Sure.
asked
Yep.
answering those, and then yeah, that each I would tell them that each internship is about like 10 weeks long, and then the current and then the graduation date, which sometimes changes from date to date, but it stays in the same month. It'd be May, so it'd be around the time of I would say May 19th or May 20th, but
Mhm.
it's generally in that same time. So it's basically like duration
Gotcha.
questions.
And
What the departments they be asking. So yeah.
do you think there was, what was it about you when you were an intern that you think led Brandon to say, hey, you'd be a great skills trainer? What do you think, like, what was your attitude or kind of behaviors, or how were you acting that you think made you an attractive candidate, to work for the program? I know it's a
I
different
would like.
program, but same.
Yeah. Oh, you good? I like explaining like details, finding out much facts as possible, so that way I can have the answers right there when people ask me. I guess that's sort of one of the things that drive me. And also, I'm a sort of a laid back guy, because I don't fuss or anything. I'm not strict. I like being making good relationships with the interns themselves, and so I've kind of, I guess that's sort of what attracted Brendan to me personally. So thought I was a good candidate for that job.
Yeah. Awesome. And you obviously were. And I know you're doing great. And you help with the vote fit stuff. I'm excited about that too. So
Oh yeah, yeah, I've worked yeah, but
awesome. And then
been a
Mary,
bit. I'm sorry.
awesome. Thanks. No, thanks so much. Mary, how about you? What advice do you have for Project Search interns to kind of take the best advantage of the time they're with us?
Go explore different jobs,
Mhm.
like, and don't be scared to like go out and test yourself. Say, hey, I want to do this or something to that effect. Um, and don't say, oh, hey, I'm only good at this, that, or the other. Just like me, I wanted to work with patients, and they were, I'll be honest with you, well, the director that I had, he's not he's not here because he retired anyway, but he was really hesitant about hiring me and having me in their department. But obviously I worked it out, and not only have I worked out, but I've outran everybody else in that department. In fact, I am the longest patient escorter there besides Joe, our supervisor, at night. Him and I actually started about the same time. He has me by a couple of years, I think, by maybe 2 or 3 years. But him and I are the longest standing employees in the patient escort department.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. We just really appreciate your time with us today and the advice that you're giving and your story that you're telling. We really, really do appreciate all that you do, and obviously are incredibly proud of both of you and just how great you've done for yourselves but also, you know, to make the hospitals you both work in better and our communities better. So thanks so much. We really appreciate it.